think that we are at a tipping point, and if enough really strong, dedicated leaders across the city, from every pocket, every corner, come together to get some of these big things done, we will be that city that can say, we are increasing the number of people who are on the path to achieving the American dream, not where we stand today, which is it's very difficult to achieve the American dream in this city if, in fact, you live in poverty. The preschool promise, all of the data and the research behind the push for universal preschool and investing more in early learning and development, it's just strengthened my resolve that if we don't fix this, if we don't change a whole host of things, the number of people and families that are in a position to access the American dream will continue to diminish. And here in Cincinnati, we have one of the highest child poverty rates. It's very difficult to move out of poverty. For most children in this city, not all, but for most children, the kinds of supports and access to quality child care and preschool, and other things that will enable that child to get a good start and to be on the trajectory toward the American dream, it's just not there. For the majority of kids, they can't afford it. Those supports don't exist, and we spend the vast majority of our resources once they get to school at age 5 and 6, when 90% of the brain has already fully developed. And so if you're not already in the middle class and part of the American dream, it's going to be very difficult in this day and age with child poverty rates going up and income mobility not moving at all. It's going to be very difficult for people for those children to achieve the American dream. It's not happening. We're going to have to tackle the issue of child poverty and the issue of income mobility. So, from a child poverty standpoint, you're going to obviously have to provide more supports to families so that they are in a position to help their children do better and achieve more. And so, the preschool promise is part of that. The home visitation work that Every Child Succeeds and others in this community do to support families in their homes to help them get their children off to a great start. That work has to be invigorated. All of the work that we're doing in education has to be invigorated. And part of the answer is that we're a very segregated city. We don't live, work, play, pray together. We're very much. We have very few neighborhoods that are diverse. Very few. And very few schools that are, very few workplaces, and this is not the only answer, but one of the answers is that we're going to have to, be very intentional about creating a stronger, more diverse middle class, and ensuring that our neighborhoods are way more diverse than they are now. That will help change the reality in terms of a person's ability to move out of poverty. If you are born into poverty and you live in a neighborhood of concentrated poverty and all you see is poverty, and your networks don't go beyond that world of poverty in which you live, statistically speaking, breaking the cycle of poverty and achieving the American dream, it's very low. However, if just because you don't have money but maybe in a more, inclusive, more diverse environment, where your networks are connected to folks who, are not living in poverty, and you have access to, things like quality childcare and preschool and great education beyond that. We're going to improve, the chances of people achieving the American dream in this city. I mean, it's what I say to myself and to my children, which is to never give up. I mean, grit and perseverance at the end of the day those are probably the two most important characteristics. It just so happens that poverty and living in chaotic environments undermine a person's capacity to be gritty, to be somebody who perseveres, who sticks to something, who refuses to give up.